Alton Towers first opened to the public following the opening of Alton Towers railway station. Money raised from the railway excursions was paid to the Earl to help maintain the grounds. In 1924, a group of local estate agents formed Alton Towers Limited to purchase the grounds to restore the gardens and create an official tourist attraction, which included a boating lake and a chairlift. After property developer John Broome married the daughter of majority shareholder Dennis Bagshaw in 1973, he bought out a large majority of the land in which Alton Towers was situated. Over the next few years, he decided to lay the foundations for a theme park by installing multiple permanent rides and developing areas of the grounds. Broome opened a selection of rides and roller coasters around the park, including Corkscrew, a coaster manufactured by Vekoma and designed by Aerodynamics, Pirate Ship, which went on to be the Blade, Alpine Bobsled and Scene 2000. Alton Towers Theme Park officially opened to the public on the 4th of April 1980. 1982 saw the addition of a children's coaster named Mini Apple Coaster. 1983 saw the addition of 2 new roller coasters at the park, which were the Black Hole, a Schwarzkopf steel coaster, and the Beastie, another children's coaster. 1984 saw the addition of Enterprise, Twirling Toadstool and the Magic Carpet, and 1985 saw the 4-man Bob Coaster. The park was constantly expanding as it gained more popularity. In 1986, the park installed an interim rapids ride named Congo River Rapids, which was a massive family addition to the park. 1987 saw the Sky Ride and the monorail, 1988 saw the Beast, which was another Schwarzkopf steel coaster, and the Alton Mouse, a second-hand wild mouse coaster. The 2 coasters opened in Talbot Street, now known as cuckooland, and were 2 very popular rides at the park. The 1990s were years that would change Alton Towers into what it is today. The park wanted to add a thrill roller coaster that would attract older age groups, so they returned back to Schwarzkopf to purchase a shuttle looper, which would soon be known as the Thunder Looper, which formed the new area of Thunder Valley. After the closures of the Alton Mouse, 4-man Bob Coaster, Doom & Sons, and many more attractions in 1991, the park had to provide replacements for 1992. So Alton Towers hired rides designer John Wardley to bring in something impressive, and that's exactly what he did. Wardley wanted to create 2 major family rides, one being a dark ride and the other being a roller coaster. After months of planning, he came up with 2 ideas, a Runaway mine train coaster and a haunted house dark ride. The roller coaster would be a powered coaster from Mack Rides and designed to interact with the Congo River Rapids, and would form a new area named Kantanga Canyon. The haunted house would be a record-breaking ride, as it would open as the largest dark ride in all of Europe, and would create another new area named Gloomy Wood. After swift construction in the 1991 closed season, Runaway Mine Train and Haunted House opened for the 1992 season. Following the success of John Wardley's rides in 1992, the park were eager to install more quality attractions from him. Plans for an Aerodynamics pipeline coaster were drawn up, said to be themed around a secret military base, and was given the codename Secret Weapon 1. However, due to the restrictions held on the park and technical and financial problems with Arrow, the plan was scrapped. A year on, a massive hole was blasted into the ground of Thunder Valley, making way for a bigger and better ride, which was labelled as Secret Weapon 2. After riding a prototype from Aerodynamics, John Wardley scrapped the idea once again after the ride was being described as slow and boring. In 1992, Swiss company Bolliger & Mabillard, also known as B&M, opened their first inverted roller coaster in Six Flags Great America, which allowed riders to be suspended from the track above them and have their legs dangle below them. John Wardley took note of this revolutionary roller coaster and wanted to create one of his own. This development would be codenamed Secret Weapon 3, and the ride would change Alton Towers theme park forever.
And goes up in that direction, right up to the treetops. Turns, comes down here, does an upside down corkscrew, under the monorail there, back down through that hole, and up over the top of the station where it does a 0G roll and turns upside down. back down there, and then climbs up to the top of those trees where it does a stall turn. Drops back down again to the bottom of this hole, does a vertical loop through a tunnel, out of the tunnel there, does another corkscrew over there, into another underground tunnel under the station, another stall turn, and back into the station. Wow!
Construction began at the end of the 1992 season, and the name Nemesis was chosen for the B&M invert. The ride would be themed around an alien creature underneath the ground, and would be Europe's very first inverted roller coaster. The ride was erected during the 1993 season, as well as the new area Forbidden Valley, and was ready to open for opening day for the 1994 season. The ride costed £10 million and officially opened to the public on the 19th of March 1994. In the same year, a boat ride manufactured by Mack opened at the park named Toyland Tours, another major ride at the Towers. It was an animated boat tour of an eccentric toy factory which featured many animatronic figures and was a great ride for children to experience. The following year of 1995 saw Energizer, a Mondial Supernova ride, which would be themed to Bone Shaker in 2001.
Make presents and presents, make parties and parties, make happiness.
1996 saw the removal of the Thunder Looper at Towers after only 6 years of operation due to the coaster track reaching above tree height, which was one of the many strict planning permission rules placed on the park in the mid-1990s. In the same year, Alton Towers officially became a resort, opening the 4-star Alton Towers Hotel on the 10th of April 1996. The hotel was themed to the fictional character Sir Algernon Alton and his travels around the globe. The following year of 1997 also saw an addition and 2 notable removals, the opening of Ripsaw, a Huss topspin, and the removal of the Beast and the Mini Apple coaster. But this is not all that happened in the 1997 season. During the year, the area which was known as Fantasy World became one giant construction site, with all the rides except the Black Hole being relocated to other areas of the park. The resort wanted to keep the new investment a secret from the public, so no information was given out on what the ride may be. Soon after construction began, the ride was codenamed SW4, rising the expectations for the ride as it was given the same codename as the very successful Nemesis. It wasn't until the arrival of B&M Track that visitors had the first clues of what the ride could be. However, Christmas of 1997 would provide the biggest clue yet as to what SW4 could be, with the release of a Christmas card showing Santa Claus on a sleigh travelling vertically downwards, with the caption of, "No Rudolph, I don't want to know what Alton Towers' new ride will be like." Little did the public know that Oblivion, the world's first vertical drop roller coaster, would open on the 14th of March 1998. The ride was a complete success, opening with an overhaul of media coverage, such as being featured on The Gadget Show and Blue Peter. The ride adopted a military theme, and due to this, the whole of Fantasy World was rethemed to X Sector, a mysterious and sinister government facility. Oblivion helped Alton Towers attendance rise by over 400,000 that year, reaching a whopping 4,100,000 visitors that year, the second highest attendance ever recorded at the park. Being the very first dive coaster, Oblivion inspired many incredible dive coasters we see today, such as SheiKra at Busch Gardens Tampa Bay and Baron 1898 at Efteling. With no major additions for 1999, the entry into 2000 would be welcomed by one of the best quality dark rides in the UK. A Vekoma Madhouse attraction was bought and placed inside the tower ruins, attempting to combine the park's heritage with a family thrill attraction. The ride will be named Hex, the Legend of the Towers, and would be themed to a local legend that belongs to the town of Alton and its surrounding land. It tells a story of the Earl of Shrewsbury returning to his home at Alton Towers on a horse and coach before being stopped by an elderly woman. The coach stopped and questioned the woman, and she begged for a gold coin. The Earl cruelly dismissed her, so the old woman set a curse upon the Earl, telling him that for every branch of the old oak tree that fell, a member of the Earl's family would die. Of course, the Earl didn't listen to the woman and continued on his way. Later that night, a storm caused a single branch of the old oak tree to fall. Shortly after, a member of the Earl's family suddenly and mysteriously died. Now believing in the curse, the Earl chained up the tree so that no more branches could fall. He then took a fallen branch back to the towers, where he locked it up in a chamber. Following the legend, riders would experience a number of pre-shows in multiple rooms before entering the chamber which the fallen branch lay central. The branch was assisted by 2 sides with 2 rows either side, allowing 78 riders per cycle. Once the ride begins, riders gradually experience an odd sense of movement, even though nothing in the vault appears to be moving, with riders on one side feeling as if they're being pulled away from the branch, and on the other feeling as if they're being pushed towards the branch. The benches feel to be swinging higher and higher in each direction until finally they seem to perform a series of 4 rotations, with what was the floor rotating fully above the rider's head. The riders feel as if they are being repeatedly turned upside down. The ride would confuse guests as they exit, trying to understand what they have just been through. Costing £4 million to build, Hex opened to the public in March 2000. Barney's Playground and the Cred Street Carousel also joined the new ride lineup for that year. 2001 saw the addition of Submission, a Chance Rides double swinging inverter located in the X sector area of the park. It was a thrilling ride, but was nothing like what was to come in 2002. Since the removal of the Beast and the Thunderlooper in 1997, a large area of land lay derelict at the back of Forbidden Valley, which only contained 2 rides, Nemesis and the Blade. A project labelled SW5 was put into place and would be another prototype roller coaster from B&M, this time being their brand new flying roller coaster, which allowed riders to lay on their fronts as they, well, you guessed it, flew through the ride's layout. Unlike the other Secret Weapon projects, the resort weren't too secretive when it came to the construction of the coaster, placing viewing windows around the site and even building a model of the ride's layout in the Towers Trading gift shop. Secret Weapon 5 also moved away from the dark theme of Secret Weapons 3 and 4 and decided to fit a relaxing and natural theme with lots of gardens and trees planted around the ride and its courtyard. However, guests who experienced the ride were quite confused with the theme, as the futuristic gift shop completely contrasted the natural feel of the coaster. The name Air was finally released with the ride, and a family-based marketing campaign was launched, including the partnership with Cadbury's Heroes, which added extra advertising to the ride, including a television advert campaign. Costing £12 million to construct, Air opened to the public on the 16th of March 2002. Due to the installation of a prototype, the ride experiences many technical difficulties in its first few years of operation, but it was still a loved coaster by guests. Following the addition of Air, 2003 also saw a retheme of one of its most popular attractions. The Haunted House, designed and built by John Wardley in 1992, was rethemed to Jewel, The Haunted House Strikes Back, adding laser guns, targets and a new soundtrack to the ride. The interior of the ride remained the same, such as the scenes and animatronics, but the park wanted to create an interactive dark ride that would still keep its old self. However, when the park opened Jewel in 2003, there was quite a large uproar, claiming that Towers had ruined one of their classic attractions. To this day, Jewel remains in the gloomy woods, still receiving the negative reviews it got back when it opened. Finally, 2003 saw the opening of a new on-site hotel called the Splash Landings, which was themed to the Caribbean. The hotel would contain an indoor water park, expanding the resort's range of things to do. Finally, the year saw the closure of the Bone Shaker, which was left standing but not operating until 2004 when it was eventually removed. In 2004, the park wanted to invest yet another roller coaster. However, this one would be targeted towards families. They installed a Morazon spinning coaster and would open a Spinball Whizzer, which would cost £3.5 million to build and open on the 27th of March. It would be located between Tower Street and X Sector, allowing guests to see the new attraction and ride before heading towards the likes of Oblivion and the Black Hole. Unfortunately, this would change in 2005. For the 2005 season, Alton Towers revealed that the Black Hole would be removed, due to being costly to maintain and its outdated look, which didn't fit in with the rest of the park. As well as the Black Hole, another iconic ride, Toyland Tours, would also depart from the park after 11 years of operation. Luckily, both of the ride's places would be swiftly filled in different areas of the park, with the Black Hole being replaced within the same year by a new thrilling roller coaster. Rita, Queen of Speed, opened at Alton Towers on the 1st of April 2005, being the first new thrill roller coaster at the park without the Secret Weapon name. It was an Intamin accelerator roller coaster and would reach speeds of 60 miles per hour in just 2.5 seconds. When the ride opened, the speed was very underwhelming to guests, as it was advertised to reach from 0 to 100 in 2.5 seconds, but were not told what measurement the 100 was in. In fact, towers were measuring the speed in kilometers per hour, not miles per hour, but did not reveal this to guests, mainly to make the ride sound more intimidating than it really was. The coaster was built alongside Corkscrew in the Ugland area of the park and was loosely themed to drag racing. In 2006, Toyland Tours was replaced with the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory The Ride, which would use the same ride system and building as the previous attraction. The ride would cost £8 million, but unfortunately wouldn't even last a decade at the park. Not too far away, another children's attraction opened named Cuckoo Cars Driving School, which replaced a vintage cars ride.
Ride at Alton Towers Amusement Park. 4 people have been taken to hospital, 2 of them by air ambulance and 25 others treated for minor injuries.
It happened, ironically, on the Runaway mine train. The front carriages separated and crashed into another part of the ride. The ride's since been closed. Colin Pemberton.
In the same year of 2006, disaster struck the Runaway mine train roller coaster. On the 20th of July 2006, when the train was entering the tunnel section of its course, 2 carriages uncoupled, resulting in the front half continuing up the slope while the back half of the train remained stuck in the tunnel. The front half failed to make it over the hill, rolled back and crashed into the rear half, which had remained stuck in the tunnel. 6 people were taken to hospital and 23 others were treated for cuts and bruises. Following the incident, the Runaway mine train was closed for the rest of the season. The train was only returned to full-length operation in June of 2007. 2007 saw the addition of 2 horror-themed attractions for Towers, which were Haunted Hollow, a pathway which had spooky theming and little interactives for guests to enjoy, and the beginning of the Scarefest event, which consisted of horror mazes and rides in the dark. Due to the success of Scarefest in its opening year, the park has annually held a Scarefest event.
Alton Towers say the theme park's sky ride system will be closed until the end of the season after a fire. The blaze broke out during a Halloween event last night. Around 50 firefighters tackled the blaze on the roof of the Sky Ride base station. 10,000 people were in the park at the time. No one was hurt, but 2 rides had to be evacuated.
Just a year after the incident on the Runaway mine train, another incident occurred on another ride at the park, this time being the Sky Ride. During the Scarefest season, a fire broke out in the Forbidden Valley Sky Ride station due to a halogen lamp, damaging the roof of the station and the mechanics of the ride. Fortunately, no one was injured and the damage was repairable, and reopened midway through the 2008 season. 2008 was probably one of the most upsetting years in the park's history. Due to decreasing popularity and increasing uncomfort whilst riding, it was announced that Corkscrew, Alton Towers' opening day roller coaster, will be closing after an incredible 28 years of operation. At the end of the 2008 season, the park held a special event in honour of the attraction, where fans of the ride could witness the coaster complete its final circuit. After being dismantled, the section of the track that formed the 2 corkscrews were regenerated and now displayed at the entrance of the park opposite the ticket booths. In the same year, a Mack Ride splash battle called Battle Galleons opened with the new area Mutiny Bay, adopting a pirate theme. The ride allowed passengers to shoot water guns at each other from different boats that make their way along the cycle on a lake. 2009 saw the retheme of Cred Street to Cloud Cuckooland, adopting a child-friendly theme. However, the opening of the area didn't exactly go to a plan, due to another fire in the Skyride station, this time in the Cloud Cuckooland station due to a faulty vending machine. Unlike the previous fire, this one destroyed the whole station. It was rebuilt and opened back up for the beginning of the 2010 season, as well as the reopening of the Skyride. Another ride opened in 2010. Following the closure of the Corkscrew in 2008, construction began on the land where it was previously situated. Construction walls built around the area were advertising yet another secret weapon, this time being SW6. The ride promised another world's first element and hinted at a dark theme, due to the marketing taglines telling guests to surrender in 2010 and to ride the demon of the dark forest. This also pushed towards a possible re-theme for Ugland when the ride opened. As the 2009 season progressed, marketing for the ride picked up pace, with an image of a truck carrying a load labelled "Authorised Personnel Only, Secret Weapon Inside" was leaked on the internet. On December 11th, 2009, it was announced that the new secret weapon would be called 13. When 13 opened in March 2010 as the world's first free-fall drop roller coaster, many guests were not happy with the way the ride had been marketed. Having been labelled as the ultimate roller coaster, as well as claiming it was a brand new form of attraction known as a psycho coaster, guests were expecting a high thrill ride, when in fact it was a roller coaster all of the family could experience. However, despite the initial backlash, 13 soon made its way into the park's thrill coaster lineup. As well as 13, Spinball Whizzer was renamed to Sonic Spinball following a deal with Sega. However, the ride turned back to Spinball Whizzer in 2016 after only 6 years. 2012 saw more additions to the park, including 2 new indoor attractions, one being Ice Age 4D, which was held in the Cloud Cuckooland Theatre. The other attraction was Nemesis Subterra, which opened on the 24th of March 2012. It was a drop tower dark ride manufactured by ABC Rides and costed £4 million to build. It was themed to the story of Nemesis, the roller coaster that opened 18 years beforehand. It was a spin-off attraction that told a deeper story of the Nemesis alien. The ride wasn't particularly popular with guests and remained as only a spin-off of the original revolutionary roller coaster. Soon after the opening of 13 in 2010, work began on Secret Weapon 7. This led to the closure of Submission in the X Sector area of the park. Plans for the ride were leaked out onto the internet in 2012, showing a new roller coaster featuring 8 inversions and being located on the previous site of the black hole. However, the ride would actually feature 6 more inversions than originally planned. Construction began in March of 2012 with the dismantlement of the black hole tent. Construction walls promoting SW7 were placed around the rather small ride area. Track arrived at Towers in October 2012, and by December the layout had begun to be built. A mini website had even been created, helped to build up the hype for the new roller coaster. The excitement was building due to a timer on the website counting down the number of days until opening. However, the countdown was removed in January of 2013 as a number of delays were expected to be put into place. On the 21st of January, the ride was announced as the Smiler, the world's first 14 inverting roller coaster, and would be said to be opening in May of 2013. Leading up to the opening of the ride, plenty of public marketing campaigns were launched, including rethemed tube station gates and projection mapping on famous London buildings. Unfortunately, the confirmed date was not true, and the ride would experience even more delays. Eventually, without warning or announcement, the Smiler opened in the afternoon of the 31st of May 2013. Even though it would become one of the world's biggest and most popular roller coasters, it experienced one of the toughest opening years in theme park history. After the opening day, it went through many additional issues and accidents, such as July 2013, where a bolt fell off of the track, and November 2013, where a guide wheel fell off the train and injured 4 people. 2014 completely contrasted the previous year with the grand opening of CBeebies Land, a brand new children's area which included 9 rethemed or new attractions. This area would allow younger audiences to visit their favourite CBeebies characters and experience their worlds. It was a complete success and raised visitor attendance by 75,000 from 2013. 2015 was by far Alton Towers' worst year in its history. The year started off alright, with the addition of the Octonauts rollercoaster adventure, a Zamperla Junior coaster which replaced the Beastie, which was closed when CBeebies Land opened. The beginning of the year also saw the opening of a brand new hotel, which was named the Enchanted Village. Unfortunately, things only went downhill for Towers.
Last hour, 2 carriages on a ride at Alton Towers have collided. There were 16 people on one carriage on the Smiler ride. The other was empty. Staff are currently evacuating the ride area, and an air ambulance has just arrived. There are no reports at this stage of any.
On the 2nd of June 2015, the Smiler experienced one of the most disastrous theme park accidents in the world. A train full of 16 passengers collided with an empty test train that failed to complete the circuit earlier that morning. The 4 passengers that were seated on the front row of the car received serious leg injuries and had to be airlifted to hospital. 1 passenger had to have their left leg amputated and 1 had to have their right leg amputated, whilst other riders on the other 3 rows didn't face as serious injuries and retreated on the scene. The park was then closed for 5 days to investigate the incident, which led to another 4 Merlin theme park roller coasters being investigated. The ride reopened on the 16th of March 2016, 10 months after the accident happened. On April the 22nd, 2016, Merlin Entertainments pleaded guilty for the case but was sentenced to a £5 million fine. guest attendance reached an all-time low that year due to not only the Smiler incident but the closure of 4 popular rides at the park, those being the Flume, Ripsaw, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and Nemesis Subterra. More rides were removed for 2016, such as the Twirling Toadstool and Ice Age 4D. However, the park tried to pull back through by retheming Air for the 2016 season and giving it a new name, theme song and world record. Galactica opened on the 24th of March 2016, adopting a space theme, and was branded as the world's first roller coaster fully dedicated to virtual reality. Riders would wear a VR headset throughout the ride, showing a daring flight through space. However, the virtual reality element of the ride was completely scrapped in 2009, where the headsets were completely removed. 2017 only saw a small expansion to CBeebies Land, with 2 new children's attractions and a new CBeebies themed hotel. The park seemed to go quite quiet, but something was coming in 2018 that would change that. When the Flume closed in October 2015, Towers wanted to find an attraction to replace it. So, in October 2016, the project of SW8 was launched, beginning with the demolition and removal of the Flume. Construction for the new coaster began in March of 2017, and in May, timber was being imported onto the construction site. Here, fans and enthusiasts could find out that the new coaster would be a Great Coasters International wooden roller coaster, the first wooden roller coaster to be built in the UK in over 20 years. In Scarefest season in 2017, track was being built into the wooden structures, and a massive 6-storey high structure was built in the middle of the site, being covered by tarpaulin. On December the 7th, 2017, the ride completed its first circuit around the track, reaching speeds of 45 miles per hour. The coaster was announced as Wicker Man in January of 2018, and was branded as the world's first roller coaster to fuse wood and fire. The ride's logo was projected onto the London Eye to help promote it. The coaster officially opened at Alton Towers on the 20th of March 2018, which attracted millions to the park. The opening of Wicker Man highlighted how strong Alton Towers had come back following the incident in 2015. 2019 brought 3 new attractions and another new on-site hotel, 2 of which being expansions to CBeebies Land. The third was the main new attraction for the year. Due to the closure of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory in late 2015, the show building remained derelict until late 2018, where it was announced that work was being done inside. In 2019, the Alton Towers Dungeon opened, using parts of the original boat ride that once operated inside the building. It was a mix between ride and walkthrough, and was a spin-off to the Merlin O Dungeon attractions that operate all across the UK. It is an upcharge attraction that costs £7.50 to enter and lasts approximately 45 minutes. The new hotel was named the Stargazing Pods and is built next to the Enchanted Village. That brings us to the present, winter of 2019, where we are expected to see a brand new area replacing Cloud Cuckooland, named The World of David Walliams, which will use his famous children's books to create theme park attractions. We are yet to see what the future will bring for Alton Towers theme park, but we do know that the park will continue to expand. What do you think will happen? Make sure to comment down below your thoughts. Thank you for watching this video, and if you are new then make sure to like and subscribe and check out my social media pages. Until next time, goodbye.